Chinese New Year is that time every year where you order stuff from China and it takes an additional 2 weeks to get to you. Don't be mad. I bring it up because this review has been unfortunately timed to be finished right before it starts, because I'm bad at YouTube. That means you can order it, but don't expect the DQG Tiny 26650 7 times to be shipped somewhere around the second week of February. Now, of course, if you watch it anytime after that, forget I said anything, or congratulations, time traveler. So today, let's take a look at the tiny powerhouse of a light that was way smaller than I expected when I opened the package, which in my case just consisted of a round box and a spare O-ring. You're like, no lanyard, brah? Nah. Apparently it comes with 2 O-rings, but I only found one in mine. The awkwardly titled DQG Tiny 26650 7x XP-G2 is not to be confused with other DQG tiny lights, but probably will be because of its name. So you basically have to search for the full title, which refers to the brand, the size of battery it uses, the emitters, and the precise geographic coordinates the aluminum was mined from the earth. I'm sorry, aluminium. The DQG uses 7 XP-G2 emitters in either a cool white version or the neutral white version that I reviewed here. Some people have asked me to describe the tint before, so let's just say I hate doing that because I don't have a way to accurately measure color temperature. Those things are really expensive. It's noticeably warmer than my Zebralight SC600W Mark III HI, which Zebralight claims to be about 4,500 Kelvin. So let's just say this one's a bit oranger at 3,900 to 4,200 Kelvin. Again, it's just an estimation. It comes in a natural gray or black anodization flavor, so, whatever you want. While it's not small in diameter because of the size of the battery it uses, it's effing short, even shorter than my Zebralight. And here's the dimension part, because my YouTube videos are just formulaic garbage. Ooh, numbers, sweet. The output section. There are 4 modes only. You'll see my tested estimates and DQGs side by side. Now, I decided to take apart my light and screwed up some of the domes on the emitters, so I de-domed some partially. So my numbers are probably skewed lower. So keep that in mind. Maybe 10%. I don't know if the figures on the product page are for the neutral or the cool white version, so these are going to be close but not entirely accurate. First is low, which is, pretty good. Then you get medium, which is kind of what I use for high on my Zebralight. Then you get high, and then you get turbo, which begs a question. In Fallout, does anyone else loot the turbo to sell? That's what I do. One dude's like, what's Fallout? The other dude's like, cool story. And another dude's like, who says cool story anymore? Now the UI. Now it's sort of like a Zebralight's. By that I mean it's shortcut based because it has an electronic switch. It's not programmable though. Also no strobe. So that deal with the devil was just approved, I think it was last Friday. So sweet. No more strobes on any of your lights. To get to low from off, it's 3 clicks. To get to medium from off, it's just 1 click. To get to high from off, just give it 2 clicks. To get turbo from off, just press and hold. And if the light is on, pressing and holding will scroll through low, mid, high, and loop infinitely but not go to turbo. If you want to get to turbo from any mode while it's on, just do a double click. Nothing is ever saved into mode memory. Since this light uses an electronic switch, either remove the battery or unscrew the tail cap a few turns to lock the light out and cut off voltage. The tail cap also could screw on a bit smoother. You have to get it aligned properly and apply pressure to get the screwing going. Okay, since 26650 batteries are basically larger capacity versions of other lithium ion batteries, like 18650s, which those size lights and batteries I review here a lot, but you just use a standard lithium ion battery charger to charge your 26650. Some lithium ion chargers may have trouble making contact with the battery ends though, just because the diameter, but they're still the same voltage. Anyway, that's just some advanced knife bro info to people new to lithium ion powered lights. You could probably use an 18650 battery in here, a high drain one if you use a spacer, but I'm not going to do that. That's, your thing to do in a pinch. I used a Thorfire 5000 milliamp hour battery for this light because it's short. The flashlight might have problems with protected cells because protected cells are generally longer than unprotected one because of that extra circuit board under the wrapper. The cells I'm using are 67.5 millimeter. Longer cells may not work, nor completely flat topped cells. So if you want it to work like mine does, you buy those batteries or you play the battery lottery and find batteries that'll fit. This is the smallest 26650 base light you can buy, so that's why the battery length requirement is there. Runtime on turbo first. Turbo has a step down about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in to the high mode from turbo. So it's like a third of the brightness and continues steadily for 2 hours and 28 minutes until it shuts off at 2 hours and 30 minutes. The Thorfires I use say protected, but in reality are unprotected. Ending voltage for all of my tests was about 3.2 volts. As you know, lithium ion batteries recover some voltage after they rest, and these sometimes were not checked immediately and were checked a few hours later. But unprotected batteries are safe to use in this light. Next is high. High seems to have some very slight, subtle brightness drop off over the first 30 minutes. Sorry, I also bumped the tripod. But it still stays pretty steady for 2 hours and 46 minutes, then cuts off entirely at 2 hours and 50 minutes. It lasts a little longer than turbo because it doesn't have that burst of, 3 times the amount of light. Then is medium. Medium runs a good click. I need another sentence or two in here so it doesn't go by too quick. Does that rhyme? Does quick and click rhyme? No, I don't think so. Anyway, there we go. But yeah, it runs for 8 hours and 46 minutes before bumping down and shutting off entirely at 8 hours and 50 minutes. Okay, now the beam shots. Here are the lights I'll be comparing the DQG Tiny to. I added similar lights and one really bright light for reference, and one 1000 lumen light for that occasional random jerk who posts on my videos saying his sub 1000 lumen stream light or whatever light is brighter than my 6000 lumen Meteor. Eyes are more sensitive than cameras, but everyone should know that by now. Okay, first is the nice, slightly warm diffused DQG Tiny Beam. Good for lighting up close spaces indoors or close to medium areas outdoors. It's not a very throwy light, but it's not all flood either. Next is the 1000 lumen Sunwayman D40A. It's a little throwier, but less than half the light on its maximum output. Oh yeah, all lights are set to their maximum brightness levels. Let's go back to the DQG for a sec. Then the Acebeam EC50 I reviewed last year. It's a bit more of a neutral tint, or less warm of a tint. It's a floody light too, but it uses a single large emitter also made by Cree and uses a 2652. But remember from that shot I did earlier, it's a bigger light. The DQG Tiny makes this sort of light with much smaller emitters. So we'll have the DQG on here for a few seconds longer. Then to the cool white tinted Olight R50 Seeker. Remember that review? And you're like, no. So go back and watch it, after the video's over. Which is for the DQG Tiny that uses a 2650 battery like the Olight. See why I included them in the beam shots? Okay, let's go to the larger, throwier Convoy L6, which is powered off of two 26650s. A great value light. Watch my review for that too. When you get some time. Back to the DQG Tiny for a few seconds. Again, the tiniest light in the whole bunch. Also the warmest tinted. A lot of light in a small package, but not as bright as the Meteor, which is over 7,000 lumens. At least this version of the Meteor is. My most watched video ever, and only $129 right now at Mountain Electronics. They got 18 of them left in stock. They didn't tell me to say that. I paid close to $200 for mine. It's the best deal, $1 per lumens right now for any flashlight. Trust me. Let's finish it up. Now I know I've said that this is the most light in this size package ever. Well, that can be true for a lot of lights because lights are getting smaller and they're getting brighter. And now that we have hydrogen batteries, you can fit, you know, a lot of lumens in a small package. So this is the smallest and brightest 26650 production light you can buy. There are brighter 26650s, but not this small. Banggood sent it to me for review, by the way. It's not a jeans pocket size light because of the diameter, but it's a good jacket pocket size light, or maybe a camping light, or for your man bag or woman bag. It's well made, well engineered, and I'd prefer a lower low slightly, but you know, whatever. And you know, maybe you'd rearrange the UI a little bit. I prefer less than 3 clicks to get to your lowest mode, but that's just my preference. Once you get used to the UI, once you remember how it goes, then it's fine. Plus, I'm not 100% happy with my Zebralight's UI either, but isn't that how this is like you can never find the perfect light or perfect knife? The DQG Tiny 7x is waterproof to IPX8 standards, so it can survive the elements in temporary shallow submersions. There's no PWM on any of the modes, and after you turn it off at night, you can actually see the front glow for a little bit. If you like this review and want to help me get to 10,000 subscribers, finally, subscribe to this channel. And or if you're already subscribed, tell your grandparents about my channel, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, because all those things help make you a better person. But really, they just get my videos ranked higher in searches. Okay, maybe one of those is true. Also, you can buy things through the link in the description to help support this channel. Follow me on Instagram. Sorry for all the plugs, but anyway, thanks for watching, homies.